So as you guys can see here, I have a bunch of Model A box trucks and a hot rod from Matchbox here. So I have a whole bunch of the box trucks. Then I have the one, just the Model A coupe, and it uses the same front bumper and grille, obviously, as the box trucks here. And I have quite a few. These are just a few of the box trucks I have. I have quite a few of them. I have two of the serial trucks here. Now, this one here is going to be our topic of discussion today, and it appears to have been at one time the Kellogg's Frosted Mini Wheat truck. Doesn't have a lot of paint left on it. Headlights are tore off, the bumpers tore off, the tops tore off, and we're going to tear more off of it today by turning it into a pickup truck, because I could buy a top for this, or I could make a top for this pretty easily, and then I can buy a remanufactured reproduction. I could not come up with the word reproduction grill and headlights and bumper. It's all one piece. And I'll cross the grill bridge when I get there. Not quite there yet. Far from there, actually. I'm going to turn this box truck into a pickup, because obviously I have a whole bunch of the box trucks here. So I don't really need another box truck. As cool as these are, especially the Speed Shop and the Matchbox van here, they're as cool as they are. I have so many of this casting. I thought, if I have this really beat up one here, why don't I do something different with it? Now I'm gonna probably steal the wheels off of something in my toolbox, because the axles are pretty bent up here. I may be able to straighten them out, but our first step is going to be taking this thing apart. And I think all of these have, I saw a guy take one apart and it had 3 rivets in it. I think all of these have 2. Even this one, yeah. Yeah, these all have 2, so I don't know. You can see where the other one was, where that casting mark is in front of my thumb there. So we'll clear out the quadruple set of box trucks there and leave this one out. So the first thing we need to do is draw a straight line so I have something to follow when I'm cutting this thing up. So get out our ruler here, and I may do this off camera. Yeah, I'm going to do this off camera, but you can see what I'm doing is matching up the body lines. Matching up the body lines on the truck. And then I'm going to draw my line with my little fine point Sharpie and go from there. So I've got my line drawn. It's not that top one. I gotta get rid of that top one. It's this bottom one here. I had to look one up on the internet. I've got a buddy that has a Model A pickup, but I couldn't remember exactly how the body lines all fit together. Under this body line here on the door. So it's that bottom line right there. That's not exactly even, but I know where I'm supposed to be at. Then there's that spot there. So that's my cutting line. Next thing to do is get out my Dremel. So I went ahead and redrew this line here because I wasn't very happy. Nothing really added up before. That one I didn't have to redraw. That one was okay. You can see I got rid of that top line up there. And there's my line there. It's a lot closer to the other side. Yeah, it just gives me a rough estimate of where I need to be cutting at, because I don't want to screw this up. I probably won't cut it on camera either, again, so that I don't screw it up. Because, I mean, I'm working really hard on this truck. I would rather not mess it up, so I'm gonna do it as much of it as I can on the camera so you guys can see it. But I need the camera out of my way. And I lied. I said the next thing I was going to do is get out my Dremel. I have to take this apart first. I don't know what I was thinking. We need a drill and a vise. So we've got our little drill bit here, and we're going to stick it in our drill and get cranking. So I'm not going to show you me drilling it out because I don't think that's a necessary thing for you to see me crank on this, because obviously when I use the hand drill it takes a little longer, although this one seems to be drilling out pretty good. Again, I don't think you absolutely need to see me do this. You know, I'll show you me starting it out like right now, but that's about all you really need to see, probably. In all honesty, that didn't take very long. I probably could have showed it to you in real time, and well, I did show it to you in real time, but like on the camera. Usually they take a heck of a lot longer than that. Get rid of our shavings there. And our vise. Not going to put anything away yet, because this looks promising, but looks can be deceiving. We need a screwdriver. Okay, so the back is undone. In the front we have a little tab here. Oops, sorry. Back's undone. I probably got way out of the frame there. So back is undone. Got this little tab in the front here. Again, this is something I probably shouldn't do on camera. It took a little wiggling, but I got it free from I got the front one loose from the base. So there's our part of our chassis here. And these wheels, the wheels are fine. The axles are bent pretty bad, so I may use the same wheels and just you know, put new axles in it. I'll see what I get to. What I run into, I should say. Like I said, this truck's old. It's been put together for a while. Looks like somebody was playing with it in the dirt. The fenders are pretty dirty. Heck, it could have been me. I don't know how long I've had this truck. I don't think it was me, though, because I usually remember most of them I've had for a long time, and I don't recall having this for that long. Alright, we're gonna do something here. Shave off a little bit of this mushroom here with our screwdriver. There's an easier way of doing that, but see, it worked. So then we can pull our grill out here. The grill's pretty much the only thing that's left. And then the windows here. Thankfully, although I have to cut this in half, thankfully it does have a back window in it, so I don't have to go make one out of a... I was gonna make one. I didn't think it would have a back window. I just assumed it would be the 3 sides that you could see. So I was gonna cut up a Hot Wheels package, you know, the little plastic blister that they come in. I was gonna cut one of these up and make a back window out of it. I'm thinking cutting this to fit is gonna be a lot better. And I can see from pretty much where the dirt's at where that needs cut, and I had better mark that now, because I will clean it up. So I don't need a whole lot of space here. And I know that's probably not real even, that's just a rough estimate. I won't cut it without sticking it back in the truck. That'll be one of the last things I cut, probably. So, let's pull out another drawer here. Oops, that has part of a truck and a screw in it. Put all of our pieces in a drawer here. And I don't think I need to do anything with the fenders. And these fenders actually aren't in as good a shape as what they look. The edges of them are actually scratched up. They're just colored in with brown Sharpie. But other than the chassis being really dirty, kind of muddy, the fenders, I should say, the fender frame, it's in fair shape. They're just kind of chipped up. The fenders I'm going to keep black, although I'll probably repaint them because the chips on the edges of the fenders there. But they're not all mashed down or anything, so this can go in a different... This is an extra part that goes in my toolbox anyway. So we'll stick the rest of those parts in a drawer in my little drawer set there. And here's what we're left with, is the cab and box of this Model A truck. I may accidentally say Model T at some point. This is a Model A. This one's pretty dirty as well, like inside it. I didn't have this one in my sandbox, but I'm thinking somebody had it in their sandbox just because of how kind of dirty it is. I got to thinking I haven't had this one long enough for it to have really experienced any of that. So I may cut this lower. I'm going to see where I'm at when I am done with all of what I'm doing. So this is a fairly thick casting, as you can see, and so cutting through it is proving to be a little bit of a challenge. And my wheel broke, so it's a good thing I have a bunch more of these, because you can't be using this one anymore. Oh, come on, twist. There we go. See? So the casting right now is quite warm, and but I've got it cut through, as you can see. I'll sand it later so that it's all even. I've got a little spot right there. Then I kind of got it on the door there. I didn't tear up the door though, I just kind of took the paint off, so that's alright. So now I gotta cut the top part of the box off, and then we'll be good to go with the rest of this project. I don't want to jinx myself, but so far I haven't screwed it up. So I knew I was going to have to do this. Have to make new posts, because I didn't cut them off. They got filed away because of the thickness of my cutter here. And so it kind of filed the B-pillars of the truck off, but I can make new ones. So it's kind of a rough cut, but I can fix that. So there's a very, very basic portion of our truck. And there's the box. I probably won't need this, but I am going to keep this metal. I don't know, I may need it for something, I may not. It's a fairly thick casting though, so it took a while to cut through the whole thing. So let's throw this stuff up there, and you can see all the shavings. Problem is, not all of that went on my newspaper. It's also all over my clothes, so I get to go change clothes because I don't want little die-cast shavings all over everything. So right now I'm just gonna file away the little like flashing from the mold here. The cutting wheel was a little big to do that with, so I'll just file it. Alright, time to get out the needle files. That's a lot of filings that I just filed off of that truck, but It's a lot smoother. I don't feel like I'm dragging my fingers across one of these files here, so I guess it's doing what it's supposed to do. Like I said, I have to build rear posts for this truck because I didn't take into consideration the thickness of my cutting wheel when I was cutting it, and they didn't get cut off or broke off. They just got kind of filed off with, like, kind of turned into dust with everything else. So I've got the flashing pretty much cut out of there as much as I need it to be. I may use one of these sides to cut the like make the front of the bed there. So I have to fabricate a few things for this, and I'm gonna clean all these shavings up, and then we'll get back to doing what I was gonna do. So I've got this metal rod here. Get off of there. Now I usually use this for putting the axles in because it's just big enough to put the axles in. If I do like a wheel swap or something. Yeah, they're round, they're not square, but they are the right size to do this. They're not, I know they're not square, but I don't want to get real technical with this, so I'm gonna stick with cutting these and using these for the rear posts. So I have my first post here, and it fits really good where it's supposed to go. So now I'm going to lay this little tiny piece here next to this pipe and cut out another one for the other side. So I got my little pieces here. This is the left piece and this is the right piece, and I'm going to write that on a piece of tape. I got my little fancy tape dispenser here. Looks like a flamingo. Alright, and we'll stick that like that. Then we're going to write left on that one. And go ahead and do that with the right one so we don't lose it. Okay, that works, I guess. And we'll write right on that one. Okay. Now I don't have the greatest handwriting, and for some reason this marker doesn't want to write on that tape very good. So between those two factors, I can read it. So I guess as long as I can read it, that's the important part. And those are going to go in our parts drawer once I remember which drawer I put this in. And we won't be modifying the base in any way, so I'll stick these on the base until we're ready for them. I don't want to glue them in yet in case the paint stripper would happen to eat the super glue off of this when I'm done. If I glue them on now and then stick it in paint stripper, I don't want that paint stripper to eat up all the work I just did. Now this windshield here, now that I have the truck apart, and I do have the windshield handy right now, we'll stick her in there. Maybe. Why won't it go in there? Okay, it is somewhat in there, but you can see how far back it sticks out. And we can't have that. And that's the other factor with gluing those things in, is I have to make sure that this windshield here can fit in here. So that's going to be the big issue with those things. I'd like to be able to stick this in here and then glue those to this, but then when I paint this, then I have to tape the windows up. I may still do that. That may just be a lot easier. So now I'm going to cut the window, I guess, now that no, I'm not going to cut it. Not going to cut it until I know that those pipe things, what are these things actually called? Metal shapes. Okay, yeah, aluminum tube. That's pipe tube, whatever. I don't really need to keep that right now, but that may be what I make the back end of the bed out of later on. So I guess I'll keep it for now. So now we're going to go get some paint stripper, and we're going to stick this in the paint stripper, and we're going to leave it. Then we're going to go over this with a wire wheel and the Dremel, and just kind of clean it up. Then I will work on the tubing for the posts back here, and I'm not going to paint it until I'm completely done and know that everything's going to fit, because if not everything's going to fit in there, there's no point in wasting paint doing it. That's why I always paint last. Make sure everything fits. I put the truck completely back together, and then I paint it. I take it back apart and paint it. So, well, we can still read the license plate here because of the way the paint's aged on it. It starts off KG6567. Now let me get one of these that's not a Kellogg cereal truck. Okay, so the IU truck here, the license plate says PC 1957. Okay. This casting was released first by Lesney, and it was one of their earlier castings. The majority of the ones you will see are they don't say Lesney on them anywhere, and they're not made in England. They're made in Thailand. Their Matchbox is their own thing right here. It says Matchbox International Ltd. The cereal trucks start off KG, and any of these box trucks that were released after the cereal trucks came out were also KG. But the KG, Kellogg's, the Kellogg cereal, that's what that KG comes from on this casting. This one is pre-Kellogg's truck era. Says PC 1957. So, to recap, this truck started off looking like this. It was orange, obviously. It was not a IU truck, but other than that, it's the same. So you can kind of see here, if I line everything up properly, you can see kind of what I've cut off of here. Just that top part of the truck, the top part of the truck there. I'm kind of getting stuff lined up right. So paint stripper for this guy, then we gotta start gluing. So as you can see, the casting is in the paint stripper. So we're gonna leave it there because I'm getting kind of tired, and the next part I don't really want to do. For something simple like paint stripper, I don't really care for these two-piece lids. If you're canning, they're great, but I'm not canning paint stripper. I don't really have too much. I have too little paint stripper in there anyway, so I'm gonna go put more paint stripper in there, and it's gonna sit for a while, and then we're gonna come back to it and see where we're at. So let's pull our Model A truck out of the paint stripper now that it's finally done. Yeah, I'd say it got all the paint off of it pretty good. I just gotta scrub it with the toothbrush. So I'm back inside now, and I must say, other than a few little tiny spots, the paint stripper worked really well, getting all the paint off of this truck. Missed a little bit underneath, but I'm not real worried about the underneath. I taped them to some part of the car. Oh yeah. That was dumb. I didn't stick the fenders in the paint stripper. Okay. Okay, I'll set that aside. Good thing I did not need that. That blows my mind that I didn't think of that. Now comes the big pain in the butt part. Putting our posts where they go on the truck. And I'm not going to film that because I know a lot of people would like to see that, but I'm not going to film it because I don't want to work around the camera. So I'm not going to mess with that. Oh, I guess I should probably wire wheel this first. So now this just kind of cleans it up, gets all the imperfections off, you know. This is another thing I don't really like to do on camera. I probably won't do it on camera. So we ran it through with the wire wheel on the Dremel here. And it really, what that does is it brings out the imperfections in the casting. And I wanted to do that before I put those pins in, so that I don't knock them out by doing that afterwards. I did the best that I could. The top could stand maybe a little but you know, it's shiny as opposed to the dull metal that it was before. And it was a challenge to get the Dremel in these little small places. But now I think I'm ready to, I could probably do that back again. That back doesn't look very good. So I got to do the back, and then I'm ready to put my posts in. This is why I do not buy Gorilla Glue, because it glues your cap on. The Crazy Glue does a pretty good job of not doing that, and it's really nice glue. I needed super glue gel or something that wasn't very runny for a different project I was doing, and I must say I'm not very impressed with this super glue gel. The gel is not as jelly as I expected it to be. It's rather runny, and so it doesn't really do what I need it to do. I gotta figure out what I did with my needle nose pliers, and maybe a small pair of vice grips, and I'll work on getting this lid off. Or maybe my pliers and my fingers, that work just as well. I'm sure my nozzle's all, nope, it's wanting to come out right now. There you go. Don't come out just yet. But yeah, I'm not real wild about this. Like, I probably wouldn't recommend it to anybody. So, don't buy this. Here's my recommendation. New plan. Paint this. Put the windows in, then glue those posts to the window. Because that super glue gel glued my fingers together. And wherever my little tiny part went, glued it to the table about 7 times. Glued it to my tweezers twice. Glued my tweezers to my hands. That's just messy, crappy glue. And Gorilla Glue could not pay me to use any more of it. I threw the whole tube away. and it wasn't cheap glue, but that was just a really, really crappy experience for me. So I guess since we're waiting on that, this is ready for primer and paint. I didn't plan on that, so I don't have any black paint. I have dark paint. I could do a dark, a forest green would be cool. I do have that somewhere. So like I said, I would not recommend super glue gel to anybody. Don't buy it. That's my recommendation. But so since I'm gonna paint this first, make life easy. I don't know how I'm gonna paint those little posts, but I mean by hand, I guess. But so we got our back end of this truck all shined up, along with the rest of it. I went over the rest of it again. Still not real happy with the top of it. I still got to go over the edges of this top part again. But so we're back. We're quite a ways from the last time you saw this truck, and it's been painted a couple times. I painted it first with the Duplicolor black, as you can see, while I put primer on it, and then I painted the Duplicolor black, and that kind of sucked. I hate that Duplicolor paint. It chips real easy. So I put a clear coat over it, and it still chipped real easy. So I put another clear coat over it, and it still chipped. So in the end, I went over it with, and it didn't adhere to the primer very good either. So and it had a bunch of orange peeling in it. So in the end, what I did was I got a matte black paint, and it's a slightly textured paint, and I painted it. It kind of looks, the truck looks like it's rhino line. I'm not going to put it back together because last time I put it together I put a chip in it somewhere. But I can set it together. You know, it kind of looks like it's a rhino lined truck. If the camera would focus. This new camera doesn't focus on anything. Still see the license plate on the back though, so that's good. Didn't put too much paint on it. And oh dear, the glue really fogged up inside the window. So I had to clean off the window. It's kind of a custom job there on the window. Remember, the window was too big. Won't focus on the truck. Well, the window was too big, so what I did was I cut it up, and then it was not the right shape, so I put some plastic in down there, and then the glue fogged up the, I don't know what the chemical reaction is that makes the glue, like when glue dries, it puts a foggy coating. I can't talk. A foggy coating on everything, and so I have to wipe that off of the windows. The fenders look good, and I did the base in that matte paint as well. I probably should have cleaned it off first, but I didn't think about that. So there it is. And then I found an old Maisto truck that looked like somebody mashed it with a ball peen hammer or something. The top of it was caved in, very, very round. And but the wheels were good, so I took the truck apart, and the chassis was real universal too. Let me show you the chassis from that truck. See, it's just a rectangular chassis. So that's real universal. I could use that for about anything. And it's got the little plastic suspension bar in there that holds the axles in. It's got a nice tow hook on the back. So I saved the chassis, and I knew I was going to use these Maisto wheels. I couldn't find a truck that I wanted to take apart that had a good set of both wheels. That truck happened to have one, and the truck itself was junk. I stuck it in my little junkyard diorama, and these wheels look really good on the truck. Those are the back wheels. Helps to use the right wheels. Maybe I should put this truck together properly. And again, if the camera doesn't focus or it does something stupid that I don't want it to do, I don't really have any control over it. It's a new tablet with a new camera, and it's supposed to be the best thing ever, and it's about the worst thing ever. So with these wheels on it, these wheels look really good on this truck, I think. I'm in the process of making, crap, I knew that was going to happen. I'm in the process of making a wood tonneau cover for it, and then I'm going to paint it black to match the truck. Because that doesn't look very good. That's not a very attractive look. Just all the weird lumps and cast lines in the back and serial numbers, and that doesn't look right. And they never made a truck. Matchbox didn't make a Model A truck, hence why I am creating my own out of a Boxtruck. So I'm making a tonneau cover for it. I made it out of toothpicks. These diamond toothpicks were excellent. They're flat toothpicks, and if you alternate between a wide toothpick and a narrow toothpick, it really looks pretty realistic. And I don't have all the coats of lacquer, for lack of a better term, on it. So I gotta finish that up, and then I'm gonna cut this to size. So there's that. That's taken up a lot of glue. So here's the wheels on it so far. They look really good. So I gotta clean up the windows, and I cut these little poles here for the B-pillars, because I cut the B-pillars off on accident. But with the way that window is, I don't know if I'm gonna use those or not. They're gonna stick out so far that they're not really gonna look right. I don't know. I may put them on there. I may go look at Terry's Model A truck, see, where exactly they're placed, where those B-pillars are placed. I know they're on the back of the cab, obviously, but I know there's a little bit of one on the door, part of it's on the door. So if I put it right here behind where that window sticks out, is that going to look stupid or not? So I'm gonna go look at his truck and go from there. And I'm not building a bumper because the wheels stick out from the front a little bit, and I don't want to deal with straightening out the bumper all the time. I don't know what this extra drawer is out for. Oh, from the Aerostar. That's what that's from. But I re-chromed the grill here. I have to make some headlights for it, and that's what I'm going to do now. I was going to use this as a bumper, I was gonna actually make it out of the aluminum piping that I made the B-pillars out of, but then I saw that little die-cast strip from cutting up the box on this truck and realized that that would work pretty good. And it rolls good too. It's got kind of a curve to it, but it rolls good. It rolls smooth, it's not all jumpy. Please don't chip any more paint off of the fenders or the body of the truck. Alright, so I gotta fix the windows and keep track of all my parts. So here we go, the final assembly of the truck. I built the wooden truck bed on there, I put it on there, I painted it, and I put it on there. It's made out of toothpicks. So we're gonna put the truck together. No, not yet. Slide the grill up in that slot there. Okay. Now, put the truck together. Hopefully without scratching the paint. And we'll go ahead and put a little dab of glue. Well, I guess we'll just do it now. That way I don't glue the wheels in place, because that would be bad. Yeah, I wrote gel, even though it says gel down there, because I didn't want to forget that this was super glue gel if I wanted liquid, or vice versa. So for now, I'm not putting those B-pillars on that I made. It's not going to be a perfect truck anyway, so I just thought I'm not even going to bother with it. I'm happy with it. I didn't put headlights on it either. I'm happy with it. I think the truck looks good. Put a little more glue. I usually tap these, but this one I'm just gluing in place. And I haven't seen it completely back together yet. That looks pretty good. For all the work I've put into this, I'm happy with it. I am very happy with this. It's not supposed to look perfect. That's why I didn't really make a big fuss that, this wood cover was so, lumpy. It's not supposed to look perfect. So, I am pretty happy with how this turned out. So, I'll probably just leave it like this and stick it on the turntable. And then that'll be the end of this video. I kind of worked all summer on this truck because I just did it when I felt like it, and I also did a van, and then I lost the footage of me making the van, and I just have the end result. So I will have that video posted hopefully soon. Tell me what you think though. Do those Maestro wheels look good on this Model A? I think they do. I don't have any wheels that are spoked any more than that, so they should. I think they look pretty good. Rolls pretty good too. So I'll stick that on the turntable, and that'll be it. So, like, comment, subscribe for more. I'll catch you in the next video. And don't forget to check out some other videos.